just looked for stickers. I've looked for games and try to increase, I guess you could say, the collector value. Like if I see one at home that I have, I'll put a number out of 10, what my 10 on my scale is of the best, and I'll put like maybe a 6 of what mine is. And when I go out and look and hunt, if I see one that's a 7, I'll buy it and replace that, because you can't take the stickers off the game itself. You know, if it was just a label like Joe Blow with his video store, that's no problem. But this is the actual label of the game. You don't want to mess that up. I'm sure everybody's seen games where you don't have dust sleeves, or if you're serious, you want to try to keep the integrity of the game going. With stuff like that, a lot of people don't really care for boxes. If you look at James Rolfe Rolfe's collection, we all know who James is. He doesn't really have any boxes at all, because he's not into that. He just wants to collect, which I don't, nothing wrong with that. But in case that you do just want to just collect and you still want to maintain integrity of the cartridge, you can get these for maybe 15 cents a piece, maybe 20 cents a piece. And people, in China sell them in bulk for, depending on how many you want. If you say, hey, I want 700 of them, I'm sure he would try to cut them down maybe 6 or 7 cents a piece. But for cartridge, that's what you would put on there if you didn't want dust sleeves or anything else of the nature. Now, if you're going to go on to your cartridge with the box being CIB, something like this will be more suitable for you. I have all of my sealed games, my 18 sealed, are covered by one of these. It's just a little acrylic PVC case, nothing big. They're at the same price. They run anywhere from 15 cents to 21 cents a piece. I have 3 big boxes sitting at home of them, so I have plenty ready to go. If you're going to be thinking about getting games that are immaculate, like if you have Contra and you say, oh my God, I want Contra CIB, I don't care what the price is, I will pay $400 to have a Contra that has the circle Nintendo seal opposed to the oval, which that would be pre-summer 1987. So then you would go ahead and you would move up to something like this. This is actually an acrylic case that's actually, I think it's 1/8 of an inch thick all the way around. It holds the cartridge, it holds the box in place. Doesn't let it shake, anything like that. The box doesn't shake, therefore you don't have to worry about the box moving, therefore you don't have rubbing on your seams, which are very important, or your plastic outside of your box. So it stays, stays ornate. If you were to get it graded by the VGA, this is what they would send you along with the sticker inside of it, telling what year it was, the immaculate condition of it, the number that they graded it, and the certificate of authenticity. Peter.
You ever gotten anything graded? And
yes, I have.
What's your highest number?
My highest is a 90 plus on Friday the 13th. I don't know why the game is so stupid, but I like it. I don't know why. If anybody's played it, use Mark. He's a cheat. You can throw rocks and run faster than any prostitute I've ever seen. Any questions? How am I doing? Am I doing all right?
Yeah, you can say so. Yeah.
Thank you. Woo! All right, there's another one. Everybody likes Donkey Kong. This is just another view of it. If you were to sit it in your collection, this is the way it looks. It's a good call. Uncirculated. That's another big thing. If you ever mention uncirculated with any kind of video game, instant money right there. It's like if you collect coins, you get a coin roll from the mint up in Pennsylvania. Usually it's uncirculated. For example, the outside 2 coins will be touched by fingers all the time, but the inside, uncirculated. Touched by people at the mint with gloves on. Uncirculated money. That's the same thing with Nintendo games. Sometimes, as a matter of fact, Nintendo was in a closet 3 years ago in Redmond, Washington, cleaning out. Somebody had sealed up a wall and nobody told about a door, and they found 6 boxes of sealed Nintendo games. When I say sealed, I'm talking Nintendo Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. I do not have that. That's an $80 cartridge by itself, sealed. Bubble Bobble 2, $200 cartridge by itself. They didn't have any stadium events or any kind of stuff like that, but they had a lot of cartridges. There were 6 boxes, I think maybe 40 or 50 games in each box. Considering those have been sitting for about 25 to 27 years, and they were straight from Nintendo, they sold them, and they made a lot of money, and they donated it all to charity. But those were uncirculated, so that was that's another pointer. And this seal, remember I mentioned the seal about an oval? This is with Nintendo only, not with Atari or anything, but in the middle of summer of 1987, for some reason Nintendo, again, they like to change their minds, as we all know, took their seal from being a circle to an oval. So oval is what we see nowadays, the Wii, the Wii U, Super Nintendo, 64, the whole nine. Pre-1987, you know it's old. It's got that circle seal on. This is my collection 4 or 5 years ago. 4 years ago. I've moved, but this is how I store my collection. When it comes to storage, you always want to have your collection least accessible to anybody but you. I take it very seriously. Keep your collection high. As we know, anything low sits, the more dust it gets. I keep it high to the ceiling, literally a ½ inch. I'm an electrician, so I'm weird about numbers and stuff like that. ½ inch from the ceiling, so that way no dust gets in between the game and the ceiling itself. You don't have much to clean up, and your game stay in shape. Now, I didn't have any boxes on any of these, like the ones I showed you earlier, the PVC cases. I didn't have anything on them. And after these boxes and games sitting up here for about 6 or 7 years, yeah, there was dust, but not as much as there could have been if I would have put them on a shelf against the wall or something like that. My collection measures 43 feet 5 years ago. Just by being on a shelf side by side. This is all my, this is the J's, keep going. These are the J's going to the M's, Mega Man's, N, P, Mario's, Jason over there, T, one more. And that's the end of it right there. But that's 5 years ago. Oh, another thrift store find. $2. Nintendo Miracle Piano, right there. I asked the lady, I said, how much is this? And she goes, does it work? I said, well, I just tried to plug it up. It's not really working. And she said, okay, $2. I said, great. I took it home. I took a Nintendo AC adapter into it. I went to town. Not Elton John, but I went to town. So when it comes to making your collection your quote-unquote baby, like it is mine, there's a lot of factors that go into stuff like this. Like, people didn't tell me over the years of learning. Over the years of collecting, I actually learned everything that I know today about collecting, doing it myself. Going to a thrift store, hey, you got this and this and this. Going to a estate sale, going to auctions. As you know, everybody's showing stuff nowadays about storage auctions. This one asshole one time, oh, this is a Nintendo, it was at 001. He looked at the serial number, and that was the model number of the Nintendo. Took it to the store, and the dude was like, yeah, man, this is $20. Like, well, I thought, you're looking at the model number of the system, not the serial number of the system. So, here's another good one right here. Found this 2 weeks ago. Game Boy, bunch of games in it. It had $7 on it. And when I picked it up to look at it, the screen came on. What do you do in that instance? You go to the next person, hey, is there any chance you can take a couple bucks off of this? Yeah, just give me $4. I looked inside of it as I got home. Ghostbusters 2, Donkey Kong Classics, Blaze of Steel, Mega Man, Tetris, Football. For $4, is it $4? I'm talking so much I don't even remember. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that you can do to make your collection immaculate. If you ever think about, there's a web page. It's a website. It's called Nintendo Age. They actually have like an iCloud kind of database for your collection. Is it iCloud for your music? You know iTunes. No. What you store your music on?
The cloud.
SoundCloud. Is that it? I'm not with young hip kids. I don't know.
Yes, that is it.
Thank you very much. But you can log your games on there. You can log them CIB. You can log them at, sealed. You can rate them in their graded condition. So that way you can keep track of it. There's an app for phones. I mean, the whole 9 yards. It's things over the years get easier to do, but then when you try to collect, that's why I said in the beginning, try to focus on one system, because over time it's going to get harder. It really will. Now, I guess I went faster than I was told. I only asked Renee for an hour, and she told me I needed an hour and a half. So, I'm sorry, I'll keep going, but I got a couple of things. This week, actually, on Monday, you guys mind if I sit down?
It's all right.
On Monday, somebody in North Carolina went to a Goodwill store. They saw a Nintendo game sitting in the case, and they said, you know, she said, how much for that game? She goes, $8, so she paid the $8. It was Stadium Events. Anybody knows about Stadium Events? Stadium Events was started in 1985 by Bandai when Nintendo came out. It only ran for a very, very short limited time and didn't sell that great because nobody had any kind of things that were interaction. For example, nowadays, it's just, go ahead.
Actually, that was recalled because Nintendo was actually...
When you get your pen, let me know, all right? Anyway, Stadium Events was taken off the shelves because Nintendo decided to buy the rights from Bandai. Bandai said, sure, we're Nintendo. You know, let's give you buku dollars. So Walmart, Woolworths, and Montgomery Wars decided to pull all the Stadium Events off the shelves, which makes Stadium Events the most sought for and most rare NES licensed game. This person bought this game for $8 and took it to a game store. I don't know the story in between, but took it to a buying video game store for old stuff and was told that it was worth 15 grand. Stuff like this does happen, and stupid people like that showing their ass when it comes to finding makes me look bad, and I can't find my games anymore. But usually when you have something like that happen, you don't want to let everybody in the world know, but she let everybody know. It's all over the internet. It's on